Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can prepend or append additional text to a piece of text to fill out a line to a certain number. There are a few methods of how you can actually do this, but I'm just going to use the ones that are built into Python. Just before we get started, if you want to copy the source code, there's a link in the description to my GitHub repo for it. And also, if you want to see this in a written format, there's a link to a blog post covering this video. Okay, so to begin with, let's set some variables that will be used across the first three examples. First of all, we've got an output length of 35, so that's what the length of each line will be. Then we've got some simple text, so in this case, hello world. And then we've got a fill character of star, which will basically just use to fill out the missing spaces. So in the first example, what we're going to do is we're going to justify text to the left, and then we're going to fill out everything after the text with stars. So the remaining characters after the text of hello world has been printed to the screen, along with a space, will then just be added after that. So I'll just save that and then run it. And we can see it says hello world with a number of stars afterwards. So that was appending text. For the next example, we're going to do a similar thing, except we're going to use rjust to right justify the text. So the text will be on the right side and all of the stars will be prepended to that text. There will be a space between the stars and the text, so it just spaces it out a little bit better. So I'll just save that. And there we go. We see the left justify one and we see the right justify one. For the next example, we're going to use the center justify so that the text appears in the middle. We've got a space either side, and then everything before it and everything after it will then just be filled with stars until, again, there's 35. And the center method will basically sort out how many stars are before it and how many are after it. So I'll just save that, run it again. There we go. We see a number of stars before, then we've got the text, and then a number of stars afterwards. So let's move on to something a little bit more complicated. The first thing I'm going to do is something very similar to what we've done before. I'm just going to set up some variables. So again, for this, we're going to use the length of 35. We've got a fill character of blank, so this will just be an empty space, a border character of star, then we've got a header footer row, which will be border char times the output length, empty row, this will be 1 star minus 1 to fill char, and then we'll put another char at the end of that. So it'll basically be a star, then a number of empty spaces, then a star. So it'll be like 2 stars and 33 spaces in between. We'll have a second row for text, which will just be equal signs matching the length of row 1. So whatever length this is, that will be the same length. And what this will effectively end up doing is just giving us like a old school DOS style prompt at the beginning of an application when you load it. So it's just a welcome screen, so to speak. So there's 2 ways I'm going to do this. Both basically end up being the same, but the first one is a little bit more involved. The second one will basically be a shorter way of doing the other one. So first I'm going to print off the header row. So this will just be a row full of stars. It'll be colorized. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it bold text, green with a black background. If you want to know more about what this means, I've got a video in the related card which will explain it, along with another package which will allow you to customize it even further. Next up, we've got an empty row followed by another empty row. And at this point, we're then going to start looking at printing out our first row of text. So what this will have is a color of green and black again. That will be for the border char, so that'll just be the first star. Then we're going to switch it to a different color, which if I remember correctly is magenta on a black background. Then we'll put the text in the middle with the output length -2, and then we'll fill the char up with the fill char, so that'll be blank spaces. Then we're going to switch back to green and black text, and then we're going to put another border character on, so that'll be another star. And then basically we're going to do the same thing here for the second row, except it's going to be a cyan color instead. And then 2 empty rows below that. And then we've got one more final row, which will basically just be the footer row. Save that, and again, and that's what you get. So just a number of stars along the top, 1 star along each edge, bunch of stars along the bottom, and then we've got our text and basically underlining that text with a bunch of equal signs. So we're going to do this one more time, except this time we're going to use a doc string rather than just using multiple print statements. So we're just using one this time instead. It just makes it look a lot tidier. So fundamentally, this is all the same. The backslashes is just to break up each individual line a little bit, because otherwise it'll be all the way over here, and I don't think you want to see that. No real changes there. So I'll just save that. Let's clear the terminal and run it again. We can see that we've got the same thing twice. And then we have our 3 original examples. And there you go. If you wanted to prepend text or append text, that's how you do it. Like I said, there's other methods you can use, but this one is probably one of the easiest ones and it's built into Python. So I figured this would be the easiest one to show you. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.